Good morning, everybody. These are 10 tips that I wish I knew about makeup sooner to change how your makeup looks for the better. This is if you want like a natural effect with your makeup. That's, I feel like, more my preferred look is. Let's delve in. Okay, trick number one is always start by applying a thick layer of lip balm. This will just ensure that when you go to put your lip products on later, they're nice and moisturized and they aren't crusty, because no one wants a crusty lip. And by doing it at the beginning, it allows enough time for it to really sink in and have those great effects and benefits. I'm using the luminous lip balm, and this is what they use on set of me as a model. Ridiculously expensive, so obviously you don't need this one. A great drugstore lip balm I love is the, what's it called? Lano Lips. I really like that one. I also love the Allies of Skin one. It comes in like a tube and it's just really nourishing but doesn't feel super thick. You know when a lip balm just works by moisturizing through the inside? Sounds a bit weird, but you know what I mean. Now this step is a non-negotiable for me every single time I do my makeup, and that is applying a thin layer of like a glowy bronzy product. I love the byperry brightening CC serum. Mine's in the shade Sunny Flash number 4. I also love the L'Oreal Gloomy Lotion, that's great. The e.l.f. bronzing drops, also really good. I'll just kind of apply it to those areas, and then I'll take my favorite little stippling brush. This is the Hourglass number 15 brush. Also, this isn't one of my tricks, but like good makeup brushes will change the game. And Hourglass, they're just phenomenal for makeup brushes. I say it every single time because I fully believe in them. And then I'll just kind of blend it in, really. Now, the reason I love using a glowy bronzing product is, one, obviously it really helps to give that glow from within look, but two, I find it often offers a bit of coverage. So when you go in with your foundation afterwards, you actually apply less than you probably would having not used this product. And working in those lighter layers will give you a natural finish. Okay, I'm now going in with the Hourglass Luminous Glow Foundation. Now, I'm gonna pop some on the back of my hand. My trick for applying foundation is kind of always start in the center and then drag it outwards, because I find it looks less cakey, because often the center's where you need the most coverage, and then around here it can kind of cling if you just put too much. So yeah, I always kind of start the product here and then drag outwards. Also, I don't know if you might be thinking, have I got bronzer on? I've actually been testing out a new product that I put on the night before, and I love how it looks because it just you wake up with like this effortless bronzy glow. So yeah, I'll keep trying that out and let you know about that. But my next little tip and trick is concealer. Now, I love applying concealer with a little fluffy brush. Wait, this is a lie. I'm not doing that now. So I actually often start with highlighters, then I can blend in the blush and bronzer into it, so then it just gives that, again, glow from within. I sound like a broken record, but that's how you get the effect. So I'm going in with the Hourglass Unreal. These are new actually. It's a liquid highlighter illuminated drops. Mine's in the shade... There's an aggressive beeping noise. Mine's in the shade Infinite, and again, going in with another Hourglass brush. She's guilty. I will just typically like apply it straight on the brush, like so. It's like literally just on the tip of it, and then lightly apply it in the areas I want to be glowy, and then I'll go and blend it in. See how gorgeous that highlighter is? I've literally, it's been in my makeup bag on repeat. No, I've been using it on repeat and it's stayed in my makeup bag. There we go. Cream blush. Okay, I feel like I've tried so many different cream blushes, and one that I always just keep going back to is the Rhode in the shade Freckle. I think it's just that perfect sunburnt shade. So I'll literally take my brush, apply it over the top of that highlighter in a circular motion. Now, when applying blush, I kind of go a bit heavy-handed. I will drag it onto my eyelid, onto my forehead. But I find, again, this just gives you that look that you've been in the sun. Maybe for a bit too long, but that's fine if I'm feeling a bit heavy-handed that day. And then I'll never forget, I did my makeup for this one shoot, and the photographer was like, keep putting more on your nose, keep putting more on your nose. And I was thinking, oh my God, like, I've got a lot of blush, but I love the effect so much. And now I think it really does just help tie in the whole look. So I will go quite heavy on my nose and then bring it into like this area here. And it just gives that really youthful sunburn effect. A cream bronzer that I literally used to use on repeat all the time and I kind of forgot about, and then I recently got a new one, is the Chanel Les Beiges cream bronzer. This is in the shade Tan Light, and I find it just that perfect shade that's not too contoury but then not too orange and bronzy. It's literally like a contour and bronzer in one, and I will take it on a brush again and kind of pat it into those areas. Trick number 6 is to take the same bronzer that I've used on my face onto my eyelids, because it just makes the whole look, great English, the whole look, I'm gonna say it again, look so cohesive. And this is why I love this Say brush actually, because it's a dual ended, so I can use this side for my face and then I'll take this side onto my eyelid. I'll just start on the outer corner and then I'll drag it up into my eye socket, but also kind of bring it out into a wing and then run it down my nose. So it really just does act as that kind of natural shaping of your face. Okay, I think I've actually got the numbers wrong with the tips and tricks. I've lost count. But for concealer, I've been really enjoying this Charlotte Tilbury airbrush concealer. I love taking it on a fluffy brush. So I just kind of go directly into the tube. Again, I feel like this makes you lose. This makes you use less product. I'll never apply it directly underneath my eye. I will start just here, so kind of like a bit under, as in I find I get less creasing. And also the reason I love doing my cream products first is just because they do add a layer of coverage, and again, you end up using less concealer. And then I'll just take it into the areas that I need the extra coverage, which is usually just like my T-zone. And then a trick from a makeup artist who I love very dearly, Lisa Eldridge, is to pinpoint conceal. So if I've got any blemishes or things, I won't go in heavier with this concealer. I'll just grab a heavier coverage, maybe like the Hourglass one, and then really just direct it in those areas where you need it on like a small brush or even just using your finger, because yeah, you don't need to like apply a thick coat over the top, as that often won't help with covering up the spots and blemishes. Okay, this next trick is how to make sure that your brows stay in place all day, which with my big brows is often an issue of mine. So I'm going in with the Rare Beauty eyebrow gel. This is phenomenal. And my little trick is I always like to brush my eyebrows back first, because then you can coat every little hair. Once they're all fully coated, you can go back in and brush them into your desired position. This just gives them that extra bit of hold that you wouldn't have if you just kind of, you know, went directly over them. Ah, I'm getting my little baby hairs. I wouldn't say I've got like a massive tip or trick for mascara. I think obviously curling your eyelashes first makes a huge difference. Now there is a siren. I guess a step that I do sometimes do is I'll take, so for instance, today I'm using a brown mascara. This is the Lancome Idole one. I love this for like a natural effect. But if you want to make your lash line appear thicker, I love going in with like a really tight line of an eyeshadow that's brown. As because it's an eyeshadow, you can kind of blend it out and diffuse it. But it also, yeah, does just make your lash line look thicker. I do also notice that when I apply mascara, I really like to try and get to the root of the lash and focus the product there and then just drag it upwards and try and not build up too much on the top of your eye, because then that's when, if there's too much product on the top of your eyelashes, it will kind of like droop your eyelashes down because it's so heavy. Okay, we're nearly finished, but my penultimate, big word, tip is to only go very lightly with powder. So I'm taking a big fluffy brush, I'm using the Huda Beauty powder, but I'm gonna tap off the excess and then also swirl the rest in the lid. Patting out the creases first, always. But again, powder's one of those that I feel like you just always need less than you think, and you can always top it up throughout the day. But this will just ensure that your makeup still looks fresh, still looks like your skin, rather than caking up. And typically, if I'm going out for a long day and I won't be topping up my makeup, I will go over the top of my creams with powder bronzers and powder blushes. But because I'm gonna go to the gym and probably top it up later, I actually won't set them into place, because I find with cream products then it's easier to kind of go back in and top up, if that makes sense. And this brings me on to my last and final trick. Firstly is finding a lip liner that is your perfect shade. It just makes a world of a difference. I look back at some old videos, I'm like, oh my god, that was not my shade. This one from Charlotte Tilbury, the medium contour duo lip cheat, I love. And this trick is with overlining. Firstly I'll blend in the rest of that lip balm, as you don't want it to be like too slippy and slidey on your face. And then I will very softly overline the centers of my lips. And then I'll just take my other finger to blend it in. And that way I find you get the most natural lip overlining. I don't like your lips, but better. And that is the finished makeup look. Wait, let me take my hair down so that you can get the full effect. But thank you very much for watching. I had a little voice break there. I hope you enjoyed, maybe learn a few little new tips and tricks. Yeah, I've been receiving loads of lovely comments recently on my videos, which means a lot because I put in a lot of time into making them. And I love making videos, so just the fact that someone enjoys it makes me happy. It's the little things in life. Yeah, make sure to subscribe and leave a comment down below of what you want to see, because always open to suggestions. But I hope you have a lovely rest of your week, and goodbye.